Hello and welcome to Toadstool Tarot. This is a video in place of a guidebook for my tarot, the Open Face Tarot, available at makeplayingcards.com. If contacted, I can send you a PDF of the guidebook. I don't have one printed up because I didn't want to add more cost and pass it along to the customer. So I am making it available as a downloadable PDF, and also I am reading the whole thing to you here, so you needn't even do that. I designed the Open Face Tarot and have it currently available in 3 versions. There is a version with titles. There's one without titles, except for the title card. And then there's a smaller version, which is plastic. This prototype isn't plastic, but the plastic ones should be the same size as this. So I'm going to walk you through the titled ones as I read the guidebook. Oh, and both of the tarot size ones come in a velvet bag, although they're purple bags, not black bags. But you can order whichever kind you want as a separate item on Make Playing Cards. So I was able to arrange packaging with the decks for the tarot size as purple velvet bags. The smaller size wouldn't allow me to do that, but you can order one separately. And if you'd like the black bag instead, you can order that separately. So, let me see. So, let me just adjust my screen a little bit here so I can read and see what I'm showing you at the same time. So this is the Open Face Tarot. I designed it in May of 2020. It's a 22 card plus 1 majors only tarot deck. After being a fan and follower of tarot for many years and having countless times considered the idea of creating my own deck of cards, I continued to procrastinate while conceptualizing the perfect deck. Well, there's no such thing as the perfect deck. Much like the difficulties presented to an artist raising his brush to a blank canvas and boldly making the first stroke, I found myself humbled and stumbling, unable to move forward. Finally, I took that fool's leap of faith and scrambled scribblingly off that cliff and into the abyss. I took a solitary watercolor pencil and crudely doodled 22 drawings, plus 1, in a single day. Then I went back to these simple drawings with a brush and some water to bleed them into life. By doing so, my lines were blurred, and also were the lines of creating a new tarot deck blurred. In this action, I found some personal clarity. Things are not quite black and white, therefore I chose a color not quite black, brown in fact, a very dark brown, on a not quite white cardstock, more of an ivory, or I like to think waxy ostrich egg white. And like those eggs waiting to hatch and birth small winged beasts bursting forth and itching to run, thus was born my deck of rudimentary images. In trying to create a universal deck that anyone might relate to, I gave no particular features to my archetypal figures. I didn't even give them an attitude. The figures have no detail, no color, no ears to hear criticism, no hair to feel vain about, no gender to conform to roles. They are almost alien, ghost-like, big, questioning, featureless babies, blank slates. They are open-mouthed but do not speak, at least not in the traditional way, but perhaps through their actions. So my figures are not men, not women, not transgender. Perhaps they are transgender, without gender, and thus relating to the spectrum of spirit within us all. Fighting my own nature to try and go back and improve on the images, I decided to let it be and abide by the guidance provided by unseen muses. Tarot is a questioning tool, which is why I depicted my main character as a wide-eyed, open-mouthed, questioning fool, open to all kinds of experiences that are generally presented in the 22 archetypes of the major arcana. I even added one final card, the Unanswered Question. This figure shown also on the backs of the cards is wide-eyed and open-faced, leading me to call my deck the Open-Faced Tarot. May it please you to go through life with an open face, an open heart, and an open attitude. The Fool. Is he a runaway with his stick and bag of worldly goods, or off on an adventure? With eyes wide open, he doesn't seem to see. Is he about to take a leap of faith or plunge into danger? Is he the brave adventurer or simply the fool? Inquisitive, he appears open to new experiences wherever they might lead him, good or bad. The Magician. As above, so below, age-old words of wisdom, which the magician takes in stride. He holds a rod or magic wand aloft, signifying the connection of sky to ground, the spiritual to the earthly. This balance is ever sought and maintained, as indicated by the lemniscate above his head, an infinity loop, turning on itself, but forever ongoing. Before him are spread all the tools he has at his fingertips, the wand of growth, growing, magic, thoughts and ideas, the Pentacle, the spirit of the star contained within an earth-bound circle, a symbol of material value, the cup, a vessel of sustenance, life-giving water, which may be turned into wine. The human body is mostly made of water. The swords or knife, a cutting tool or weapon, may be used to shape things like food and shelter, to give and sustain life, or used as a method of aggression to take life away. In communicating, the blade may cut to the heart of the issue. It may dissect a problem, cut away the fat, and point to the solution. The High Priestess. The High Priestess positions herself between two poles in a binary system of existence. She unscrolls mysteries of wisdom with one hand, while curling her other hand about a sphere, cradling the world inscribed within a crystal ball. Overhead, the moon epitomizes mystery and the unknown that may arise from dreams and intuition. The Empress. She sits comfortably on a cushion. She is all about comfort and comforting. You see her nurturing a child growing within her, or perhaps nurturing of some plan or project caressed into coming to fruition. The Emperor. He leans squarely against his throne, never completely at rest. He ponders his authority and responsibility, his position and duty to his subjects symbolized in the orb and cross, globus cruciger, the world ruled by the four elements, earth, air, fire, water. He makes ready to take off and leap into action if needed. The Hierophant. The interpreter of sacred mysteries and arcane principles, the Hierophant holds the keys. He wields the papal ferula, the pastoral staff of the Triple Cross. His hand is raised as an orator and in representation of the Trinity. The Trinity may be considered as Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, or body, mind, and spirit. Again, we have representations of a binary system in the two keys and two disciples. The keys are both masculine and feminine. The disciples are both, or neither. The Lovers. The lovers are presided over by a celestial figure radiating the energies of wisdom and love. The two figures are joined by a single heart, that which unites them. The Chariot. The chariot is a mode of movement. It sits atop a hill or at the head of a road. It leans backward as its rider leans forward. Of its awkwardly triangular wheels, one points upward, the other downward. The signs at the fork in the road point to left or right. You must remain where you are unless you determine which way you must go in order to move forward. Strength. Who is more fierce, the beast or the mothering spirit that protects the beast? What is stronger than a mother's love to fiercely protect her child? The beast here almost looks as if it's crying. Eyes closed, it is momentarily at peace. There is also strength in holding back, in contemplation, rather than wildly flying into the fray. Sometimes reservation can take more strength than action, and sometimes there is strength in looking above for guidance. The Hermit. The hermit stands high upon a hill, halfway up, halfway down. He looks out over the void, holding his lantern high in order to guide the lost and to help direct his own way. The mysterious moon over his shoulder is only slightly helpful in revealing some dark mysteries. Sometimes one must be alone in order to focus on what is needed. The Wheel of Fortune. Round and round spins the karmic wheel, a game of chance. Sometimes you wins, sometimes you loses. You may be favored by fortune to rise to kingly heights, or you may fall to your own demise and destruction. There are many middle grounds along the spectrum between the two, but they are all mysteries yet to be discovered. Justice's attention is very narrowly focused. It is an ever-balancing act carried out precariously on tiptoe, ensuring that nothing distracts from even-handed resolution that is fair. The hanged man, cross-armed, cross-legged, hanging on a cross, the hanged man seems at crossed purposes, unable to move for the moment. He must consider life and its difficulties from a different perspective. Perhaps looking at the situation from a new angle will provide a solution to the problem at hand. Death. Death rides wide-eyed on a pale horse, considering who he shall pass over and who shall pass away. Many fall by the wayside in order to make room for the new. Death carries a banner on a staff, or is it a scythe-like axe in readiness to claim new victims? The flag bears the cross of life, representative of the four elements, but see now it has been turned on its side, X'd out, cancelled existence, and ending in order to make way for a new beginning. Temperance. A figure passes water or energy waves from one vessel to another. A transference keeps a situation in balance. The devil, the master of temptation, holds its victims in his hands. Whether it be addiction, deceit, or a multitude of desires leading one down a wrong pathway, one always has an option to walk away. We see duality again, wrong and right, two figures, two horns of a dilemma. The tower, a picture of the fallen, the tower, a structure of life's stabilities, topped with a crown, has been unexpectedly struck by a bolt from above. Victims are crashing to the jagged rocks below. Sometimes we are unwilling victims of a shake-up. Sometimes we need to be the ones to grab life in our hands and give it a good shake. The star. Oh, look, she has just spilled milk all over herself. Don't cry over spilt milk. There is a star of hope above for every situation. There is a light of inspiration that might guide your way to better circumstances. The moon. Two towers or peaks rise in the distance on opposite sides of a winding path. You are standing at the foot of that path. You have gotten your feet wet. Now you need to go the distance. Will you use the tools of your domestic intellect to help guide your way, or will you fall prey to wild instinct? You can choose how to take charge. A cross-eyed moon is in love with itself. The three-quarter moon kisses the quarter moon until both are cross-eyed. It is a joining of two disparate impulses that must mysteriously reconcile itself, but perhaps not tonight. Sleep on it. Maybe things will look brighter in the morning. The sun. Yes, the sun has risen. It is brightly shining and showering its energy down upon us. We ride, eyes wide open, on a sleepy horse, coaxing it on its way. We must move forward, but it is a glorious day. Judgment. The sound of the bugle calls us to rise from our resting places, to take account for our deeds and misdeeds, to glory in thinking outside the box and moving toward the radiant light and life-giving energy of the universe. The world. Sometimes life has us jumping through hoops. On other occasions, dancing through them can be fun. You may be able to run rings around others, keep your goals achievable, but keep your ego in check. Go ahead and twirl those batons. Show what you've got, you two-fisted wand-wielding wonder. Step out into the world and see what's waiting for you there. The unanswered question. Your open face hangs like a question mark, a question left unanswered. But what is the question? That is the question. As long as you keep questioning, answers will come to you, sometimes in the form of more questions. So that is the guidebook or guide pamphlet, leaflet, whatever you want to call it, for the Open Face Tarot. Thanks for bearing with me as I stumbled with vision problems while reading it. And I hope you enjoy the deck. Let me know, leave me a comment if you like. It's always helpful to see how people react differently to different decks. Thank you. Bye.